Once again, hello everyone. I'm Joseph Tuyishimire. I'm part of the Digital Earth Africa team. I'll be presenting the country scale coastal change and exposure analysis using Digital Earth Africa platforms. This was prepared in collaboration with Dr. Kenneth Mubeya, who is Digital Earth Africa Capacity Development Lead.
With implementing.
So if I go to the Africa, so we are a program that is powered by partnership, born from Geoscience Australia through the Australian government funds. The idea was to put in place a public infrastructure that could help people to have free access to Earth observation data sets and to use them in their daily life. We try to empower countries across Africa with Earth observation data to enable climate adaptations and mitigation towards food security and sustainable development on the continent. So far, we have a lot of data sets, approximately 5 petabytes, thanks to the collaboration with the partners across all the corners of the continent, especially regional centers like OSS in Tunisia, Agreement Regional Center in Niger, CSC in Senegal, Africa, Nigeria, RCMR in Kenya, and many national space agencies across the continent. So we have a lot of data sets like the geomads. Those are cloud-free mosaics that cover the continent, derived from both Sentinel and datasets images. We, together with our implementing partners, we mapped the crop extent at continental level, the fractional cover, and the climatologies. All those datasets helps us to understand the coverage and the conditions of croplands for the continent, the water observations to understand the long-term water dynamics on the continent. And today we'll be talking about the coastline service that is to monitor the coastlines along the continent. So everything is free, even for commercial uses, and our data are available in analysis-ready format. Then through an open data cube approach, you can specify your area of study and providing X and Y coordinates and the buffer, and then run the analysis on cloud, or even you can upload the boundaries of a study area and pass directly to the analysis. So you can either work on cloud or even download data and work from your PC. We have different interfaces depending upon your choice. We have put in place a capacity building platform. This is online, registered. You have to dedicate your time, and also you get all the support from our team. And of course, we align our work with SDGs. So our program covers the whole continent. The same do our datasets, and it's powered by an open data cube technology, and several notebooks or tools were developed. You have just to specify your study area and the time step for your analysis, then run analysis, but also can customize those available tools however you want. And you don't have to be a programmer. You just have to understand some basics of spatial analysis and then be able to explore our platforms. So I talk about those services, and today we'll be exploring the coastlines service. This is a continuous scale product in a decision-ready format. and we can be providing some local level information and insights to address social, environmental, and economic changes around the African coasts. Uh, so far, we have, sorry, so far we have, uh, sorry, we have a lot of archives, almost 30 years archives of Landsat data and approximately 10 years archives of Sentinel-2 datasets. It's free available to cover the whole continent. The tools and the training materials are free, they're shared, and of course, use the interface that seems uh, uh, easy to you. But why shall we understand the African coasts, the trends, even the exposure to the coastal erosion? You know that most of megacities in Africa are along the coast, approximately 15 of them. And of course, the expansion is always increasing. And, they're most depending on blue economy. And that's why we need some effective management as the climate is changing and also the sea level is rising. And also, uh, we should sustain or preserve those coastal infrastructure and ecosystems. Digital Earth Africa, in collaboration with the partners, especially RCMRD and CSC, have built the continental-wide coastline service that monitors the trend of the coastlines from 2000 to nowadays. This was inspired by the Australian coastline service that was developed by the Geoscience Australia. And using it at 30-meter resolution, we can identify the hotspots, the rate of changes, and inform the climate adaptations around over 60,000 kilometers of the African coast. We thank the CC team that has contributed to the validation around the 12 worker countries. And also we thank RCMRD and supported the work in the West Africa and in the Eastern Africa. And the precision was good and very good. And that's why it was adopted by some countries to inform their decisions related to the management of coastlines. So the product is accessible via our East Africa map. This is a very interactive platform, and you can understand the coastal change around any area. So the example of Namibia, where you can zoom in and have an annual coastlines, and we can do some comparison to see if we had been a shift or erosion or accretion around any point on the African coast. This is a product, of course, we have some limitations because some images may be not available for some years due to cloud cover, and this have brought some uncertainties in the product. And of course, you can see wherever you find a coastline in dot, then the quality is not that good, and that's why we put that in our attributes just to attract your attention while using it. But why shall we understand a country scale, coastal change, and exposure? So, the population is always increasing, and of course, you should understand the trend of the coastal erosion as well, because most of megacities are on the coast, And the Africa platform had provided access to diverse datasets and information products at a continental scale. And we can integrate these datasets to better understand the state of the coastal environment and the temporal changes. And of course, this will enable countries and local authorities to take proactive measures against climate change, and of course, make some evidence-based cost management decisions. And how, what should be the steps and what do we need to understand the coastal change and exposure analysis at country level? First of all, we should be able to classify and monitor the coastal morphology, such as beaches, cliffs, estuaries, and vegetation cover, but also can understand the vegetation and habitat health, providing insights into the well-being of coastal ecosystems like mangroves and salt marshes. And of course, we can monitor erosion and accretion in their rate. And of course, we can also map some human settlements, and of course, kind of providing understanding of the population at risk. And of course, you can understand the topography, the elevation slope, just uh, to combine several factors to understand the level of exposure. And in the notebook that the Africa has developed, this relies upon the Africa Coastline Service and other datasets that are accessible through our partner databases, and you try to understand the trend of the coastlines, but also the impact on the population. And the steps should be, first of all, to retrieve and extract the Africa coastlines rate and of change over a country of interest. Will be summarizing the overall trends of changes. We will be inspecting trends of changes for certain administrative areas in the country. And after we combine the trend of the coastlines with the population information and topographic, that to estimate the exposure. Of course, the caveat is that some data may be missing due to cloud cover and also the complex a characteristic of any area, and then we be using the available data with a good quality. And we had provided a guideline on what you call good data. It means that data of the good certainty and also others. So if we try to quantify the length and the percentage of the shorelines that have been moving at the rate of more than uh, uh, 0.5 meter per year since 2000, and if you go for the state, in the case of Nigeria, we have a 452 kilometer that retreated by 0.5 meter per year. We have 330 kilometer of the shoreline that has a creation of um, more than 0.5 uh, uh, meter per year, while 830 and 83 kilometer didn't experience any significant change. Of course, when you're talking percentages, we can say that 29% of the Nigerian coasts are eroded. 21 had experienced accretion, and while the remaining is not affected at all. And we can also compare our paragraph, and you can see the if you go per administrative region, you can see like for Belisa region, we have 134 kilometer that were eroded, 78 uh, there was an accretion, while 206 didn't experience any change. The same, we can compare any percentages that inform decision makers, and just when they see this statistic, they say this state or this region requires more intervention uh, uh, than others, and it should be people to set priorities. And also, we can combine this uh, coastline change with the grid population data to estimate the exposure. You can combine population with within 1 kilometer from the shoreline, but also we can combine the population with 1 kilometer of the retreated shoreline at more than 1 kilometer. And this is the second one. This is very key because when there is a retreat, also it is either person is gaining or is being exposed to the coastal erosion. The same we can say the population uh, that is on the shoreline within less than within a retreat of 0.5 meters, but with an elevation of more than 5 meters. And I mean, the risk is a little bit low, and the same we can do all these statistics and try to inform or to prioritize the intervention per each area. So if I go to our platforms, I said at the beginning that our coastal erosion service is available within all our platforms. If I start by explaining the data sets, I can use the maps, South Africa map, and you see that we have the coastal erosion. And if you go down here, the coast of Namibia, for example, we can zoom in. While you zoom in, we can have statistics of changes, if there is erosion or accretion, and also the confidence interval. And when we keep zooming, we can give each coastline per year, and just on a single click, we can see where we say shoreline. This is for 2012, and you can see how it retreats over time. But if you can see year 2012, certainly this is good, and also as low above sea level, and the country is Namibia. You can even download the CSV or the shelf file format, JSON format, just for further use in our analysis. Also, I can share the link with you in the chat so that you can click on it and see exactly what I was exploring. So if we go to the sandbox, you have now the sandbox is operational. You have to register once again and enjoy the free crowd space and also the pre-developed algorithm. And when you go inside, uh, you 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 definitely when you go inside, you definitely get a folder called use cases. Inside there, what you get the coastline change, And inside this coastline change, there is a notebook called coastal change and impact. And this notebook is the one we'll be using. And inside, it is well described. You can hear the title and the background. Why do we need uh, to understand the coastal environment, and what should be the steps, and what can we do using the remote sensing, and also describe this notebook, the steps to follow, just instruction the coastlines by each year for a country of interest, uh, to summarize and visualize the overall trend of changes, inspect trends of coastal facility administration areas in the country, and of course, combine the coastal change information with the population. Of course, will be, first of all, roading the Africa packages, even the Python package in general, and try to retrieve the coastal erosion per our country of study. So we retrieve this from the global population datasets, and then we have all these attributes. And then after, the country we'll be working in is Nigeria. And for this country, we try to inspect the coastal erosion for this country, the change rate. And after, we summarize and visualize the trends of changes. And of course, we'll be working on data with a good certainty. And of course, we can understand the good measures, but also we'll be working on significant changes after fixing this free shot you see here. And of course, we are producing the change statistics, and and after, we can inspect the trend for the whole country, and visualize them as you can see per region, either in kilometer, but also you can do it um, in percentages, as I've been showing after. And also, we could combine this with the grid population data to understand which is the number of people that may be impacted by the coastal erosion uh, for our country, and then we can export the results. And this data set are available within our platforms, and then we can, if you go to our GitHub repository, you definitely go to the Africa notebooks, and then you can go to the use case, and then you can give uh, the coastal changes and impact, and on this folder you have this notebook and the data we are using. I'm sharing this in the chat for you, just to have a look if you are familiar with the GitHub environment in the Python coding in general. And this product is available via various interfaces. The first one is also the Africa Geoportal by S3. We are partnering to make data available to everyone across the continent, and we can understand the Africa coastline change. We have developed this blog, this story map, talking about the changes, why do we need to detect the coastal erosion, and combining some maps and videos. Please have a look if you have a time, because it's a well summarized story map. And also, if you go to the Africa Geoportal, once again, not that quick right now, but you can have access to directly to our the Africa maps. But also, if I go back to the PPT, we've developed a dashboard uh, that's that required to understand the trend of the coast erosion. Just at one click, you get statistics per country, and this this dashboard developed by the Africa team, just on a single click by graph, you can understand the retreated length of the shoreline, but also the if there is a creation, but also the impacted population for any given country. And this is free of charge. It's regularly updated, and you can have a look at it. I share the link in the chat just for you to explore. This is, you can see, this is by default, this is the Republic or the Congo, but you can check maybe for Angola. You can see it displays just a glance, and you can even zoom in at any area like here around the Lagos, and just on a click on one point, it can give you some statistics and the attribute show you how this point has been affected by the coastal erosion over time. I'll be sharing the same link in the chat just for you to explore once you have a time. So this is an example, the same, this in the case of South Africa, as I was showing you, and this is our data available for the Africa Geoportal thanks to the partnership with S3, and you can have either continent-wide, but you can also identify if there are some hotspots and cold spots for coastal erosion. And of course, we can understand not only the impacted shoreline, but also uh, the area that's affected. And of course, we can combine. Here we go far, combining the population size, the built-up areas, the croplands, forest, and the mangrove, just to understand the ecosystems that could be affected by the coastal erosion. At continental level. And so there are a lot of advantages as we can see that almost 77,000 people could be affected by coastal flooding that's in Nigeria. And imagine if you go across the whole continent, and this you can explore it via the Africa Geoportal, but also directly using the dashboard that were developed by the Africa team. So you can also monitor the coastal changes in KwaZulu-Natal, that is Tenga River mouth in South Africa, using the Africa maps. And you can see the rate of changes, but also you can produce the coastal risk and the vulnerability using the Africa platforms. And this is also the case of a Queen Durban, South Africa, that is the coastal erosion, but also project the population that may be affected at a continental level, country by country or city by city over time. And of course, this is a short presentation, but if we explore our online course, there are several courses, including the monitoring of the coastal erosion, and um, you can have a look at them. One of them has a dedicated course on the monitoring of the coastal erosion, among other courses. They are free with well-detailed approaches and methodologies and tutorials. Please have a look. You register at the end, you get certificates. We are here to support everyone who is registered to our courses. Please feel free to send a ticket when you are stuck. And of course, we exchange on new services and products every Wednesday. Please feel free to join us but also can send some tickets just to help you if you have any queries. We thank our partners, and also please reach out to us by scanning the QR code. You get access to the questionnaire. Please share any update or even request for support on user case. Even you can let us know if you like to present something. Either you can send us an email or use the questionnaire. But that's, I thank you. And our question, intervention, comments, you are the most welcome. Thank you once again for your patience.